a podcast. Do you like crunch bars or no?
I used to eat Crunch bars when I was a little one, but
Ooh.
I don't eat Crunch bars anymore.
Why why not? What happened?
I'm on a diet, trying to eat healthy, stay fit.
Oh, come on. Those are protein bars and you need that.
You're right, you're right. Thank you for having me, by the way.
You're most welcome, man. Very excited to have you and really thank you for accepting my invite. And yeah, we just want to hear and learn from you. Would you please tell people who hear this podcast, where you're from, where you study?
For sure, for sure. I'm from Holland, Michigan. Shout out H-Town. I'm studying entrepreneurship at TCU. I'm a senior and I'll be graduating in 2023, so I'm excited for that.
2023. You feel good? You feel good about graduation?
I feel great.
That's wonderful. So yeah, I know you're an entrepreneur, and man, it's I've been watching your project. Everything is wonderful. And now when I heard about your business idea, it was something I really couldn't. I didn't think that mechanism exists, or something like that. And your business is called Vocals. So yeah, why was Vocals?
Yes, thank you for the praise, first of all. Vocals is an oral care product, so it's an oral spray, and what happens is you spray it into your throat, and it soothes and relaxes your vocal folds. And so what that allows is it relaxes your vocal folds, so when you talk, you have a clear, powerful voice. And so this is extremely helpful for people with public speaking anxiety
Yeah.
because when they get nervous, their voice starts to tighten up, they have voice shakes or voice cracks. This product from Vocals aims to prevent that.
Wow, and really, public speaking anxiety is big. So now you're tackling that. So I think
Yes.
if I use your product, I'm gonna be a really good podcast presenter, really great public speaker, things like that.
Yes, it doesn't give people the ability to be a great public speaker,
Mm.
but it gives people the ability to sound like a great public speaker. So
Yeah,
even if you're nervous, you're going to sound confident.
yeah, and sometimes perception is everything. So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that's wonderful. And so, what made you, come up with the idea like that? Did you have some uh, issues in the past, or how did you realize the problem and said, "I think would be a great product to solve this"?
Yes, so very, um, this problem was very personal to me. Up until my junior year of college, I had severe public speaking anxiety. So I would actually get physically ill before public speaking, and I'd always have voice shaking. Sometimes I'd have a voice crack. And so after I conquered this fear of public speaking, I realized that I had a lot more opportunities open to me. I was no longer scared of taking speaking opportunities.
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, if I can create a product that would enable this for other people, the world would just be a better place.
That's wonderful, and I like the way you have a personal connection with the product, so you're super passionate about it. And so now you're an entrepreneur, so tell us also the passion of entrepreneurship and how you went into that. That now you're a senior graduating. So how is it going, and where did the passion come from?
Yeah, so entrepreneurship really came from playing Monopoly with my dad as a younger kid. I think it all
Okay.
stemmed from that. But funny story, actually, when I started college, I was a biology major.
Okay.
So for my first 2 years, strictly bio, I did have a minor in business because I've always liked business,
Yeah.
but I thought I'd be a doctor. Started going through the years. It was extremely boring for me, and so I decided to switch over to business. And then after that, I just pursued my underlying passion, which was entrepreneurship this entire time. And so now I'm entering into entrepreneurship competitions and I'm building my own company, Vocals.
Wow, 'cause that's wonderful. And so how is it going so far? How is the progress?
It's going good. Right now, I'm in a national competition. It's from Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization, CEO. I made it to the round of 100 so far, so I beat out 500 other candidates.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir.
That's
Thank you,
good.
sir. And then October 17th, they'll announce the round of 20, I believe. And those 20 people will present their ideas in Chicago, so I'm excited for that.
That's wonderful. And you're ready for that?
Oh, yeah, we ready?
Getting prepared. That's good. That's wonderful. Yeah, I think I will use your product, man. I'll use your product. Oftentimes I make some presentation different places, and that's true. You know, when and like you get like a dry throat, everything like that. So it's good to have a product like this that will soothe
Yeah.
my way of speaking.
It'll
Yeah,
soothe the
soothe.
tongue.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's good for podcast hosts, announcers, coaches, singers, anybody who uses their voice professionally. This is a great product for them.
that's wonderful. So I hope people are listening and they can check you out, Elijah Woods.
For sure.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
and so I love your entrepreneurship, mindset and passion, but also I want to hear about your perspective on international students. You know, I'm an international student, and this is just a curious question that is almost out of topic of what we've been talking about. But what amazes me most is I think international students available in TC community and in America as well. But most of the time, some international students, even me at some point, it is hard to understand the value we add a community like this. So I've seen you talk to different international students, have conversation, and you seem to be very interested. So what fascinates you most about when you have an interaction with an international student?
Yeah, I think the most fascinating aspect of talking to an international student, getting to know them, is just their different viewpoint of life.
Yeah.
They've come from almost an entirely different culture a lot of times than the U.S. and
Yeah.
their creativity is based on a whole new viewpoint. So I'm creative, but my creativity was influenced by American culture.
Yeah.
Your creativity is probably influenced by Rwandan culture. So
Correct. Yeah.
it's just interesting to learn about international students and share our viewpoints, and share our ideas.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think that's a great compliment to hear of, to vary our perspectives, the way we look at things, and just integrate it in our daily conversation with people
Yeah.
who are from here. That's good. And so, do you sometimes get inspired by the ideas and you say like, oh, this would be a cool business idea?
I mean, as an entrepreneur, when you're talking to other entrepreneurs and other people with great ideas, it's like every time you talk to someone, it's like, man, that would be a really great idea.
Yeah.
And you think about like what you could do with that. But when you have your own idea, your own company that you're pursuing, you got to stay laser focused on that.
Yeah.
But yes, to answer your question, I do think about their ideas. I'm like, that's a great idea, but I could not pursue that idea
Pursue that
because I
idea.
have my own idea.
Right. Yeah, and back to your idea, and now you're investing yourself in this business idea. You probably believe in it, and you have started seeing some success, seeing some people believe in you. Of course, you believed in yourself in the first place. But what are some challenges you're experiencing as you move forward, and how are you standing strong?
Some challenges. Definitely right now, it's the size of the team. So right now, it's mainly just myself on the team, and then I bring in other people to help, but no one's a part of like the core team. So no one's helping me full time, only part time. So the level of output, I guess, is reduced from what it can be just because the team isn't big enough yet. And so that's probably the biggest challenge, just waking up every day and then you have to be the driver of 100% of the output. But that is a lot of times what the CEO and / the founder has to do. So
Yeah.
I am ready for that, and I do welcome it.
Yeah, and so are you looking forward to get more people on the team, or what do you
Yes,
think
yes.
like have you started like saying, oh, that person is we have the same way of thinking. I think that would be a great asset of my project.
Yeah, definitely. I've started interviewing a few people for the roles of just social media manager, photographer, and then co-founder. But I just want to make sure I have the right people on the team because it's a big investment, and I'm very serious about
Yeah,
the idea. Obviously,
that's wonderful. Vocals. So when you look at your product, or when every day you look at it, you think about the effort you've been able to like bring your idea to life. So what feeling does it give you?
bringing my idea to life. As you can see, I have the prototype right here.
Yeah.
It just it means a lot to me because I feel like I'm helping a younger version of myself. So as I mentioned earlier, I have severe public speaking anxiety. If I had a product like vocals growing up, that would have taken away a lot of my anxiety, and it most likely would have allowed me to conquer my anxiety sooner.
Yeah.
So by me creating this product, once again, I just feel like I'm helping others like me, a younger version of myself.
Yeah. And what's your vision for it? Like, what's the big dream? What's the bigger picture?
Excuse me. The bigger picture is basically to, I don't want to give away too much,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
to create a brand with vocals. So the vocals brand is professionalism, and we believe that professionalism is always preceded by preparation, and we want to create a line of products that help you prepare for your professional moments, help you present.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So, yeah,
Thank you.
I've seen you do a couple of research and interviews with different people, ask, like trying to find the enough information about the target market.
Yes.
How is it going? Are you seeing more channels coming in, and they're like, oh, now this is a great place to think about as you keep questioning different people.
Yes, every time I do an interview, most likely I always find a different, um, I guess, focus group that could be helped by vocals. Right now, our main target market is middle school to college students because we want to prevent the occurrence of a public speaking incident that
Yeah.
could be traumatic. So we want to make sure our developing professionals are able to develop correctly. So that's like our valued centered mission. We want to bring our product to all those students that are developing. But then in the professional world, as I mentioned before, this product can apply to singers, coaches, announcers, voice actors, etc. It's like every time I do an interview, I find out a different profession that would benefit from this
From the
product. So it's
product.
very encouraging, you know.
That's wonderful. That's really good, man. And again, I'm very happy to have spent some time with you learning about vocals, even behind the camera, because I thought, man, this is something a lot of people would need. You know, every time people they're trying to find help, and I think having something like this is very beneficial. And as you said, I like how it's connected to you as a person and the way you're helping your younger version. And
Yeah.
at the same time, I think it's the best way to give back. I love the idea of giving back to community and, identifying solutions or looking, like, being able to see problems that present themselves to you. So I think it's a great initiative at the same time, but also an idea that is going to sustain you in the best way. So man, congratulations again for your great mindset, entrepreneur, spirit. I think you're gonna go far, and I believe in you.
Hey, those words mean a lot, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Now we're gonna talk about some fun stuff. Are you ready?
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Business is always good. I enjoy business. But now I want to ask you something. So I am from Rwanda, and I'm here in America, and I know you're an American. So I want you to tell me, what do you think from your conversation with your friends and family? What do you think Americans think they're doing right, but they're doing it wrong?
Hold on, like in life? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
in life, whatever you think they do right, but they're doing it wrong compared to how everybody else does it.
Americans?
Yes, or
Okay.
America in
Okay,
general.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh, One example would be new technologies or new innovations. Whenever something new comes out, people always bash it, say it's never going to blow up, it'll never happen, and then time and time again it happens. Just an easy example of that is TikTok. When I was growing up and TikTok started, everybody would make fun of the TikTokers. And now being a famous TikToker is one of the most coveted jobs. Another thing is driving. Driving is terrible in America. If you are in the front of traffic, like on a highway or a freeway,
Yeah.
you have to be going the fastest because if you're not, then everybody else is getting held up in front of you, and
Yeah.
then that's a traffic jam.
That's a true. Yeah.
So if you want to go slow, get in the slow lane to the right,
Yeah.
and then if you're going fast, get into the left lane.
And
So
go and fly.
if everybody would just go the speed they're supposed to go,
Yeah.
and then get into the lane they're supposed to get in before there's a turn, there will be no traffic jams. I'm very passionate about traffic logistics. So,
That's good.
yeah. What about you? Since you're from Rwanda, what are you thinking?
Yeah. One of the something I realized is there's a lot of, as you now I'll attach it maybe TikTok. I've seen a lot of people here in the U.S., especially Americans, who think everything they do is right. They want everything to be looked at in their lens. They don't really and I'm not saying about everyone, but most people I've talked to, it seemed, let's say I talk about Africans, say, oh, everyone thinks there's animals. We have animals, it's a lot of them, but we have a lot of people, a lot of other great things, and not just only animals. And so when they just think as, oh, there's animals, and then like it's the only thing that comes to their brain, I feel they're forgetting the aspect of multicultural experiences that exist in Africa, different ethnicities, and a lot of diversity. And and Africa it's a huge continent, actually larger than North America itself. And so I think some of those aspects are eliminated, and for some reason, when you try to bring them up, they get shocked because they think everything they can't wrap their minds about it is like doesn't exist. They're like, oh, and yeah, but I also met some who are really curious, and so that's another thing I think I would love about some Americans who are really interested in learning, asking questions, and sometimes being say, "Oh, I should go visit and see these places." Yeah, but thinking that everything, like all they know is right, and everything else is a surprise or it's wrong in a certain way, it's something I've seen to a lot of Americans.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially when you just mentioned the size of Africa.
Yeah.
Africa is way bigger than what it shows on the globe. Like, I think it can fit like North America plus Russia or something.
Yeah,
Plus a couple more.
it's still the second largest continent after Asia. So
Asia. Okay. What
yeah,
about how big is Antarctica? I thought it was Antarctica.
no, Atlantica is small. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but Africa is huge.
Yeah.
It's a giant.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a giant
crazy.
continent. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, and we're there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of great things. Yeah, it's a great place. Yeah, so when you think about Africa, growing up, what did you learn about Africa in general? What
Uh,
do Americans teach you about Africa when you learn history or geography or anything?
yeah, I feel like what we were taught was Africa was just an underdeveloped land, like no skyscrapers, no cities. It was just people in huts
Yeah,
that were poor and that would just drink water with the animals and stuff, have to do long treks to get water and come
yeah,
back. I think a lot of that came from my main learnings of Africa came from people who go on mission trips from like my church, and so they would go to these poor areas and help them out. So I think that's what a lot of it was. And then in school, they really didn't expand on the technology that Africa had.
Yeah, I see. And I think that's also a good point to think about. Because most of the times what the media really portrays, I don't deny that there's some truth to what people say. There is absolutely some truth, but at the same time, it hasn't to be the absolute truth. It has to be backed up by some other things to show that there is hope. But when you just say, "Oh, the climbing mountains," or someone asks you, "How did you get to America?" I'm wondering if they thought you used a crocodile to cross the
Yeah.
ocean. I'm like, oh. It's a lot of airports that connect the direct flights and things like that. So, but I think that's a. And do you think there's some people even today that they went to college that still believe like, oh, this is the case?
Most definitely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because another thing I would also share is, I think I would agree with you because sometimes some people would judge you, or they would have some preconceived conceptions where they would say, oh, maybe Neo is at TCU because TCU wants to be diverse. He's on a scholarship, and being on scholarship is not bad, but you have to understand how much work someone has put into it to even get the scholarship.
Yeah.
And most of the times we go through a hard process than everybody else, which is fine. But a lot of people think it's just to be diverse, which I don't think hard work and being diverse is no. You have to work to come here. You know
Yeah.
that. Otherwise, if it was just for diversity, man, TC would grab people from anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you were from Michigan, right?
Hmm.
So when you came here in Texas, it's in the South. You tell me some of your culture experiences. What shocked you the most?
To be honest, I was expecting some Southern hospitality. The service is better in Michigan than it is
Are
in
you kidding
Texas.
me?
I'm
No.
not kidding you. So that was really a shock, but it's kind of a
Yeah.
letdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying about the scholarships, how some people think they just take anybody.
Yeah.
I agree with that assessment that some people think that because especially when it comes to the scholarships where it's like lack of income and so you get more benefits in college because you grew up with a certain level of income, like you were below a certain level. I
Yeah.
don't think people who are above that level of income can really understand how hard it is to perform at a high level when you're below that level of
Yeah.
income because you're below a certain level of income, you have a bunch of family members, and so a lot of times you can barely eat during the week, like you just eating the school
The
food,
school.
like the
Yeah.
school lunch, and then an occasional dinner at home, like maybe 3 times a week or something. The rest is just you snacking on stuff, you
Mm.
taking snacks home from school, uh, AC not working, heat not working.
Network.
So like people who are above that level of income and they think that colleges just pick up these students just for diversity reasons. They
Yeah.
just don't understand the struggles, like the daily struggles you have to go through when you're in less fortunate circumstances, or even English isn't your first
It's
language.
not.
So,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to speak fluently in another language when it's not your first language.
Definitely, that's true, and I can testify that it's not very easy. And there's also a time I went to Mexico,
Hmm.
and bro, I spent the whole week without speaking, and I understand how even it feels. I could speak some English, but now like knowing nothing entirely in the whole language, it was another experience.
Yeah.
But that's good, man. I think we're gonna wrap it up here, but again, and this is wonderful. We'll have to definitely do another episode and get more wisdom from you and maybe more updates on the progress of the product. But I'm super excited and man, very grateful for your time.
Hey, thank you. Yes, this was very fun. Thank you for having me, Nia.
No problem.